Hey, everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, Alex Smith on his third NFL team, the Washington Redskins, take on Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago where the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying, fly, Eagles, fly, as they get ready to match up with the Washington Redskins. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They've been as hot as anyone. The win last week makes it 9 out of 10.
The results are hard to argue. If there's a team better suited for the postseason right now, I don't know who they are.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. This one fielded at the 5. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. As we get a peek at the number 2 overall pick from the 2016 draft, standing at 6'5", Carson Wentz.
But when I reviewed last week's game and saw the 4 touchdown passes that he threw, I thought about you during the Turkey Bowl last year.
Yeah,
you guys
right.
had the same stats, except he got the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award with his.
He got touchdowns, I got picks. I like going back watching the film with you, and we thought it was a good performance in person, obviously was, but you thought even better on tape. It was really something to watch.
Yeah, what I loved was how he spread it around. A lot of people involved in the passing offense. 4 touchdown passes culminated it.
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And they're able to get this one across the 35. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
Right. Yeah, what do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snootful, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front and linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage. Well, that one was over before it could get rolling. How about the D just knifing into the backfield and shutting that one down?
They run with Ajayi. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. 5 yards will get him back to the original line of scrimmage, but now they're looking at 3rd and 10. And the tight end, Zach Ertz, is key in this offense as we get a look at the starters.
Comes out of the factory known as Stanford, which keeps putting out tight ends. Zach Ertz, one of the better ones we've seen in recent years.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll be 4th down. A really nice catch, but bottom line, that should have gone for more yardage.
Give him a pass in the flat that allows him to get upfield. There's plenty of distance between him and all the defenders. Actually cost himself some yardage there. Yeah, they got the completion, but it could have been so much more.
Yeah, that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the number 1 overall selection back in 05 out of the University of Utah. It's Alex Smith.
In his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions. but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
The first carry now for Adrian Peterson. Evades the tackler, and now some space. Adrian Peterson, he's at the 40. It's a big run for AP. 43 yards on the ground. If you're an Adrian Peterson fan, that's the sign that you want to see right there on the other end. They got to learn to get him down, or this could be a long one.
And it's also the sign that his team wanted to see. Him making that type of a run, having a force and an impact on the game that early, that really demoralizes the defense because they realize it could be a long game trying to get him on the ground.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. This one caught by Crowder. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Offensive starters time, Charles, for the Washington Redskins.
Let's look at Josh Dotson, the wide receiver out of TCU. Grew up in Fort Worth. His mom works at the university as a vice president. He actually went to Wyoming first, transferred back to TCU, and boy, is he a high flyer. Throw it up in the air, he'll go up and get it.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Back to the ground. This time it's Peterson. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. They pitch it out to Peterson. And after the good game last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. They'll try the air now with Smith. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. A look now at the defensive starters for Philadelphia. In that win last week over the Giants, they were very good.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in, and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Smith. He finds his target. It's Crowder. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and, hey, you know, how are you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
They'll run for it with Peterson. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it.
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. He's going to get it running right. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
This Eagle defense, they won't give in without a fight. This is 3rd and goal. They'll run it. Here's Peterson. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down.
False start, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards.
Still 4th down.
So now on 4th down, the Redskins will hand things over to their kicker, Dustin Hopkins, from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Hopkins' kick is good. And it's 3-0 as the Redskins strike first. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Going up top. And that's caught inside the 30. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 27. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Zach Brown with sack number 23 on the year, breaking Michael Strahan's mark of 22 and a half.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their first one of this game.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. From the gun, it's Wentz. A dump off to Sproles. And he gets it down to the 32. Give him 3 on the play, and it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. And now a look at the Washington defense.
At corner is Josh Norman. I would think he would want to quibble a little bit. Actually, you know, Josh would have a full discussion with the metrics people who say that maybe he's not the elite lockdown corner he thinks he is. He would say, ask all the receivers in the NFC East. They would think differently because a day against Josh Norman is a very difficult day for any receiver.
Come on now. Come on now. Let's go.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. And he's got some space here. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Call it a pickup of 7, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Now to try the Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. And Elliott puts this one through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Adrian Peterson now getting ready to go again on offense. A tough challenge here in this one. We'll see if he can duplicate the numbers on your screen that he put up last week, up over 100 and a touchdown.
We were watching tape to prepare for this game. One thing you noted that I totally agree with, great complimentary piece in the last game. You know, they're able to throw it pretty well. He ran it exceptionally, and they hope to continue that same formula in this game.
Complimentary with an E, not an I.
That's my English teacher right there.
And, he took the thing one-handed. What a grab. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that. But a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in the diving, but they would split too easily in the course of a game. Then the glove manufacturers got smart and started adding to it, and here we are today. When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
On 2nd down, Peterson. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
1 quarter down here on a frigid December night. 3-all the score. And we're back to Philadelphia after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. Now they'll run it on the toss. Pushing through the contact. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Now we've got whistles here before the snap. Was this on the Redskins? I think so.
False start, offense.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Here's Smith. caught right side, Davis. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 1 yard is a gain there. It'll bring up second down. To throw on second down is Smith. And this is caught at the 8. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. First and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding offense.
So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on first and goal. Here's Smith. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is now 10-3. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Marshall now, the return. Oh, nice move. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick-6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Tackle made that time by Brandon Graham.
And that's called winning at the point of attack, isn't it? Right there at the line of scrimmage. I know he's a little bummed out now. He doesn't get credit for a tackle for a loss, but no game, his guys will take that.
And speaking of winning, to be as cheesy as we can, he was the winner of the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award from last week, so he's really stringing together some good football.
So not only did he get a gold star, he might have gotten a gold watch too, huh? Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
The Redskins on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is third down and 12. Out of the gun, Smith. And this is going to be incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get free, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
To throw, it's Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Come on now, come on now, let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. Aguilar has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Wentz now to throw. Goes underneath for Sproles. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It'll be a gain of 4. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Working from the gun, Wentz. Ertz has it left side. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, the big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And our focus now moves to Adrian Peterson. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here.
Hey, John.
On first down, it's Smith. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby, and he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
They go play action here on first down.
Crash down, crash.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. On second down, here's Wentz. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
The Eagles on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 14. Here's Wentz to throw. And that is incomplete. It was DJ Swearinger right there on the coverage.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On first down, Smith toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Jordan Reed was the intended target, and now it's second down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They come after them, they've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Malcolm Jenkins up to make the stop.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now a play fake, and it's Smith. It's brought in by Dodson. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. Give him 30 yards there. Smith on first down. And Reed with it over the middle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. From the red zone now, Smith able to power through. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. On second down, here's Smith. Rolling to his left. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. The Redskins going to go ahead and use their final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Smith now to throw. That's caught at the 3. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Jeremy Sprinkle as the first half is winding down. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am, go ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Wentz to throw on second down. Screen pass to Sproles. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. From there, we head down to Tennessee to check on the Titans at home in Nashville. And they were winners in their ball game as they were able to handle the visiting New York Jets. Marcus Mariota, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last as we head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. And they were losers in that ball game to the visiting New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been as tight as we expected, all tied through one half of play. For the call of the second half, let's get it back to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The third quarter starts with a run by Peterson. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now Smith, and now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. And this will be recovered at least by the offense, but he'll be taken down in the end zone, and that is going to be a safety. Well, I'm not totally privy to what went on with their offensive meetings, but, Charles, something tells me that one wasn't in the plan.
Yeah, when we had our production meeting, they didn't exactly share that with us, but I'm pretty sure that on the play sheet, the run backwards into your own end zone play was not written down.
So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20. This is taken at the 18. A nice little juke. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll begin the drive with a Johnny. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. And it's 3rd down. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
Caught by the tight end, Ertz. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So out now come the Redskins. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
They start the drive with Peterson. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him.
It's a regular routine for him, isn't it?
It really is. That play there, that's him all day long. Good luck trying to block him and keep him from disrupting your offense.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Got some room at the 30. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key the left tackle?
Without a doubt. Control that edge. Get out there. You want that left tackle. If you bring your tight end over there, either way, control the edge of the line of scrimmage, you got a chance to rumble. We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
They run it here with Thompson. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
3rd down, it's Adrian Peterson. AP still got it, and he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. And give him 12 yards and a 1st down.
That run is what defenses don't like about dealing with Adrian Peterson. His ability to drop his shoulder and run through contact.
And he's amazing at keeping those strong legs going, isn't he?
For him, no run is ever truly over. I mean, he's actually not even convinced that when they blow the whistle, he's actually down. That's how he finishes runs in a big way.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. They rolled out of the pocket right, and I think he wanted a little something more out of that play, obviously. Instead, he hit a safety valve.
It looked like 2 well-coached teams there, even though there was no yardage gain, because the offensive guys, they realized their quarterback was out of the pocket. All the receivers went to the right spots, tried to get in his sight line, tried to open themselves up. Just nowhere to go where they could gain yardage. How about the defensive guys, though? Did not lose leverage and kept their poise and made a really nice play. Well, they're certainly running the ball pretty well on this drive, and all I remember as a secondary guy was if you're making a lot of tackles in a game, that's usually not good for your defense. You've got to figure out how to keep things in front of you because you know there's 3 levels, defensive line, linebackers, and into the secondary. And if the 3rd level is leading your team in tackles, as a general rule, things aren't going so well for your defense.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Down to the 25. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Well, praise has to go to the guys in the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One-handed. Love the effort. Not much production on that play, though, huh?
Not a whole lot of yardage. You get that grab, you probably want a 1st down.
And he'll be the one in the film session if he's saying, hey, run that one back, coach.
Yeah.
Run that one back.
One more time.
Let's see that
2
again.
more time.
And they won't.
8 more times.
They won't. Didn't get much out of it.
Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he watched that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off. This will be fielded at the 6. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Sproles. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Here's Ajayi. Runs through the contact. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And he'll slice his way down to the 30 with a pickup of 7.
Hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Throwing his Wentz. Trying for the tight end. Ertz, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Well, it's a cold night, and whether you're a quarterback that wears a glove on his throwing hand or not, that ball is a rock, Brandon. You've got to really drive it through the cold and the wind, or it can take off on you. And that may have been what happened there.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He is knocking on the door for 100 yards in this ball game.
And it's so important. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Just short of it, a little bit over. A little bit over feels better to everyone. Offensive line, running back, team totals. Just something magical about breaking that barrier.
He's right there on the doorstep now. A good starting spot for the Redskins as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Nigel Bradham brings him down.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Again, a run with Thompson. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
Throwing on third down, Smith. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it, Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. It's then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Ryan Kerrigan in on the tackle.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
From the gun, it's Wentz. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And he comes back with one complete. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, he had to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, turning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal. On third down, these guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable third down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that, got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The Eagles on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 11. From midfield, here's Wentz. And Jeffrey's got it. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On third and long, it's Wentz. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Mike Wallace, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, That meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Doug Peterson says, let's go for 2 here. To throw, it's Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he's going to be taken down. It's a sack, and they fail on the try for 2. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Elliott now to kick this one away. Marshall now, the return. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
The Redskins on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 46. Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Flashy little move, but unable to reach the 40. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
On 3rd down, it's Thompson. Spinning away. Oh, no, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. So a challenge is upon us. I tell you, close game, fourth quarter. This is a huge decision.
Oh, no doubt about that, partner. A lot has to be riding on this call. And you know it is a tight one because it has to be indisputable visual evidence in order to change it. Now here's the big question. Do they actually have that evidence?
We're about to find out.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
Maybe the old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
Well, the pretty move couldn't create much space, down just beyond the 35. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves them needing about 7 here on third down.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount. He got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Wentz. And he'll hit Jeffrey complete. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he
got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Nelson Aguilar, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And that time, he came out of the slot for that big play downfield for the score.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was what we call scheming a guy open. Put him in the slot, know that he has tremendous speed. What you're doing with your other receivers is likely running shorter routes to draw the attention closer to the line of scrimmage, to give him a chance to get downfield and turn it into a one-on-one route, often against the safety. You like your odds when he's running against the safety. His speed usually wins, and it did on that play.
Marshall now, the return. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here?
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Jackson with a grab over the middle. And brought down down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Smith finding Doxson that time for a Washington first. On 1st and 10, Smith. He sets to fire deep. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Smith. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chris Long in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Third and long, it's Smith. On the catch, it's Crowder. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. They do get 18, but even that won't be quite enough. It's 4th down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. On 1st down, it's Smith. He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And his throw here is incomplete. Nigel Bradham, the linebacker, right there on the coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Now Smith to throw again. And his throw is incomplete. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying, no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
To throw on 3rd down, Smith. And Davis with it left side. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Again, Smith. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Nigel Bradham leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. Here's Smith now on 2nd down. And this is taken in for a Redskins touchdown. Trey Quinn, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Redskins are able to make this a close game again.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Nelson Aguilar and company getting set to go again on offense now. They might want to mix something up defensively because he's been shredding them a bit, hasn't he?
That he has, and even with all the changes that you know are going on the defensive side of the ball, he's still finding ways to get open, finding the right spots, and the delivery has been pretty good too.
He's over 100 yards, has the 1 touchdown score to this point.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check. Watch 54. On your job.
Look, son.
Mike by four. Mike by four.
On second down, here's Wentz. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Here we go. 120.
Working from the gun. Wentz. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Now it's Crowder. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Now they'll run it on the toss. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down.
Hey, back up.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. He went backwards 5 yards there on 3rd down to bring up 4th. Desperation time for Smith on 4th down. He finds his target. It's Crowder. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand,
Offside.
partner.
Defense.
And yes,
That
they want
penalty
the
is
point, so
declined.
they will decline the penalty, no question there.
You don't think they spent a couple of seconds mulling over what the penalty
I
would
don't
do
even
for
know
them?
why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving. Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
And he will not get there. He comes up short. And they're unable to push this lead to a field goal as it'll remain a 1-point game. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock, so Tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time,
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. A great Monday night to wrap up the week in football. Two division rivals and a great finish ahead as we come up on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. Ertz over the middle. He's got the lane, and there he goes. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow. Wow. How many practices we watched over time where the offense works on scoring late in the game and finding a way to win, as we just saw there.
Just saw it right there. Now can they preserve that advantage that they just got? Now Wentz going to lead the Eagles up to go for 2. Now Wentz. Escaping the pressure right. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Boy, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? I mean, you're exactly right. It takes some fortitude to call that type of a play, but when it doesn't work, oh boy, you wish you hadn't. Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for Philadelphia, they continue to keep pace for that first-round bye as they move to 11-1. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, they fall to 6-6 now on the campaign. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been